All right, crypto getting to be a little bit more bipartisan. Today we'll be breaking down what that might look like in a new world of crypto and politics and how it plays into a lot of projects. You're going to love it. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into Tech Path. Before I get started, I want to thank our sponsor today, and that is Wilder World. If you guys are looking at one of those emerging games, go over and check them out on X. Just go to Wilder World on X. You can find a little bit more about what they're doing. They did a huge promo over at the Wheels Arcade in Austin during Consensus. Had a huge promotion. You can kind of see what happened there at the event. Really had a great time. I think this is one of those things where we see those in real life events come to reality around crypto. So check it out. Just go over and kind of follow it along from X. You can run over to the website, etc., if you decide to go that route. All right, I want to get into the topic today, and this is more on the topic of politics, but also at the same time, how it applies into crypto. So I want to bring our co-host in. Of course, that's Miss Jackie Dutton coming in today. How are you, Jackie?
I'm good. We're having a little technical difficulty, but I hope everybody likes the new microphone.
Oh, the mic is great. Your audio is excellent. Let's lead off with the first story. And this is going to be a good one for those of you in the political arena, and that is Hillary Clinton stuns the Democrats by endorsing George Latimer as Jamaal Bowman's congressional seat. New York, of course, is the congressional seat. Right here is the District 16, which is what we're talking about. This is Jamaal Bowman. Statements on crypto, you can kind of see it right there. FIT 21 and the SAB voted against, and also CBDC Anti-Surveillance State Act voted against, versus George Latimer, who currently does not have a position. This coming over from Stand With Crypto from Coinbase. Are people going to vote their crypto holdings, or are they going to vote their political stance?
Yeah, I think everybody in my world, at least, and on my feed is well aware that this is a much bigger issue, right? This is about freedom to self-custody. This is about inflation, the economy. And if you are so adamantly against it that, you know, even SAB 121, which had more to do with banks than it even did, you know, the common man, this is probably not somebody who has our financial best interest at heart in the world of crypto, at least.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to play a clip for you just so you guys can get a framework around Jamaal Bowman. But there's a lot of Jamaal Bowmans out there, people that are in this position, especially on the Democratic side. Let me cut to that clip real quick.
So Hillary Clinton has sparked a big debate within the Democratic Party by endorsing more moderate New York primary candidate George Latimer over the incumbent Democrat Jamaal Bowman. Clinton tweeted that with Trump on the ballot, we need strong, principled Democrats in Congress more than ever. In Congress, George Latimer.
What's your reaction to that?
No real reaction. I definitely wouldn't call that a major endorsement, with all due respect. I mean, we are endorsed by sitting U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren. I love our endorsements, and they're going to help us win this race.
The poll found that 51% of respondents have a favorable view of Bowman. In comparison, 65% said they have a favorable view of Latimer.
People around the country are recognizing that, hey, Bowman could lose, and maybe that's a surge of energy into the district. I think Bowman has a lot of supporters. His problem is they don't live in the district. You know,
that doesn't work. So from what I understand, that doesn't work so well.
Right, and you have these.
If you look at some of the expenditures in terms of propping up some of these candidates, and it is an important scenario, this right here showing fair shake, right there as the number 2 candidate, opposing Bowman of almost, and you can kind of see it, let me kind of zoom in on that right there, almost $2 million going into this opposition. With this being the case, fair shake, one of the largest PACs out there, really fighting for crypto, I think, in general. We've seen a ton of very pro-crypto entities that are supporting fair shake. This could start to spill over into a lot of races. How much of an impact do you feel like this is going to have right now on this year's election, Jackie?
Oh, it's huge. I think this is an influx of money and donations and special interest that we haven't really seen before in the past. I don't think it's really existed. The framework hasn't been there, and there hasn't been the organization that we really are now seeing. I know that I see a lot of people say, well, I hate that we have to play this game like a big pharma or a tobacco or an alcohol, but we do. And it's just them's the breaks. That's just kind of the way that it is within this game, but it's going to actually get things done in our favor.
This is where the polls currently stand on the New York 16 Democratic primary. And you've got it right there, George Latimer at 48%, Jamaal Bowman at 31%. That's currently, there's a little bit of margin error there, but the undecided number is still the one that is big to me. Now, this, of course, many of you guys will say, Justice, Democrats, what are you guys talking about? This is crazy. Of course, many people will know this. The one name, though, that I will say that has seemed to cross the line is Ro Khanna. And he seems to be in a position to where he thinks that a pro-business stance, both from a Democratic and maybe across the aisle and the Republican side, is the answer for crypto and a lot of what's happening in blockchains. Let me play a clip for you, and I will get your opinion after this clip. Take a look.
One of the things I've said to folks is, even if you're not invested, I'm not invested in crypto, but I've gone on Coinbase. I've opened a wallet. I've opened MetaMask. I know that you can't buy NFTs on Coinbase. I know that you need to go on the OpenSea through MetaMask. I know the basic experience. It takes literally 48 hours to figure this stuff out. And yet you probably don't have more than 4 or 5 members of Congress who've ever done that. And we need more people to actually get the basics. Open a wallet. So it is way too complicated in my experience. And the more we can simplify it, the more actually you can reduce the fees so that people know that you can transfer money where you need to memorize your 12-word password. But if we can fix that so that you don't have to memorize that 12-word password. But all of that just means that this is in a nascent stage of technology. If you go and you're negative on crypto and you don't understand it, it seems like you're hurting their view of what modern wealth generation could entail. Artists, if you care about artists, songwriters, singers, you should be for this technology. You're going to lower potentially the cost of prescription drugs. Look, Mark Cuban has this interesting idea where he's going to use some of this technology to try to bring prescription drug costs down. We haven't been able to do that in Congress. We campaign on it every year.
So that's Ro Khanna talking about that. I mean, he actually said some pretty straightforward things that I think any congressman and woman would probably look at and say, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and spend a little time and try to figure this out. Do you think there's any chance for that really happening, Jackie? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think we're talking about people, some of them are in an age gap who would ask for help using their television remote still.
Yeah.
So I just don't believe that they're going to figure out how to use MetaMask over the weekend.
Here, of course, is Biden's administration talking about a potential roundtable in D.C. And Cuban looks like he's going to be maybe the one that is there. And what they're stating here is this could be the most significant meeting between policymakers and innovation leaders in the blockchain area to date. Mark Cuban is planning to be there. He's going to pitch on one area. Ro Khanna mentioned this about potentially lowering costs of pharmaceuticals. Let me go to the clip on that. I want to just kind of get your position on whether you think this is a good angle. Take a look.
And I'd say part 2 to what we came up with in launching Cost Plus Drugs was transparency. Because the missing element in all of healthcare right now is trust. So when you go to Cost Plus Drugs and costplusdrugs.com and you put in the name of the drug that you're looking to buy, you'll see exactly what we pay for it. You'll see that it's marked up 15%. We'll show you what the markup is. You'll see that there's a $3 handling fee for the pharmacy and $5 shipping. And that was only 77 of the drugs that we sell. Imagine if they used all 900 plus. Mm-hmm. But you haven't had any mainstream applications where your mom says, okay, we've got to get a wallet because I have to do A, B, or C. We're waiting for that next round of applications, and there's a lot of people working on them. You know, NFTs for the resale of books. So we take NFTs past the collectible markets to the utility markets. Until mobile phones came along, from 1995 to 2007 with the iPhone, meh, right? And then even remember the first apps on the App Store were like, here, look, let me hold my phone like this and it looks like I'm drinking a beer. Game. Right? Yeah, it looks like I'm drinking a beer. Just dumb shit. There's no reason why crypto is going to be any different.
Do you think that's the angle that the administration will understand?
I don't necessarily know if they're really the apple-to-apple comparison that he really wants it to be at this point. But it's not price gouging. And that's just our only issue in crypto. We have numerous problems.
I want to play a clip here by Cody Carbone. And he goes into a little bit about the importance of this meeting. Take a look.
Everyone is now talking about what President Biden is going to do because former President Trump has come out fully supportive of the industry, a complete 180 from when he was in office. And so we're hearing more and more rumors about how the Biden campaign are reaching out to the crypto industry. And it's culminating in this roundtable that is going to be hosted by Congressman Ro Khanna. We're hearing Mark Cuban will be there. I think everyone is still trying to figure out what this will look like. We're hearing this will be sometime in July. And so this email was leaked from Congressman Khanna saying, hey, we're going to do this. And now everyone is scrambling to figure out, okay, what's this going to look like? And how do I get there? And who's going to be there from the administration? The title of the roundtable, I believe, was, how do we lead on digital assets, which I'm really optimistic about. Over 50 million users in the United States. That's larger than all of New York State combined. They started to hear about it from their constituents. It wasn't just the crypto lobby, which I am a proud member of, saying, hey, you need to pay attention here. No, now it's, the mom and pop store in their district that wants to take crypto.
I just wonder if Biden will just go the other way just because Trump has gone this way. What do you think he'll do?
That's really what it seems like. I mean, he's talking out of both sides of his mouth, right? He's going to have this roundtable, but he just vetoed SAB 121. What's going to happen when the FIT Act comes across his desk? If you can't pander for votes and then slap us in the face when it comes to actually being the one in charge of approving the regulation and not actually doing it. He's had the opportunity at this point to show his support legislatively, and he has not.
Well, I can't believe I'm saying this. In Biden's defense, what I will say is that Trump did not come out and say that he was pro-crypto prior to that, prior to the SAB vote. So, I mean, there's a lot of chess being played here because Trump probably had a little bit of an idea that Biden was probably going to stand in his stance of a veto, and Trump used that as a catalyst to say, all right, let me show you the other side of the coin, and boom, off you went. Which could be the case because he is definitely winning votes right now in the crypto community. And back to the point that Cody Carbone made, which is small business, because that's going to be a huge stump, topic for a lot of these candidates. I want to jump to a clip here because this was something that happened on TikTok that is huge in terms of small businesses, creators, and so on, that eventually I think will start to transition into to crypto. Follow me on this one. Let me play this clip for you.
Canvas Beauty made TikTok history, hitting $1 million in sales during a single live session.
You don't need one of them old bags. You feel me? Y'all gonna make me cry. What's the news? Now, I'm the creator team lead, and you just broke the new record. You are the first person to achieve 1 million for one single life.
In 2023, that market was worth about $647 billion in China.
Wow.
In the U.S., $50 billion. So drop in the bucket, not that much. So what we're hearing from a lot of these CPG companies is that they would rather, especially newer brands, upstarts such as Stormy's company, they're going to TikTok because you can scale like that.
Payments and so forth. How does that get done? And I assume that TikTok collects some toll of revenues, right?
So basically, when you have a TikTok shop, all of your transactions are actually done through the TikTok shop and their platform. So,
Stormy, do you worry they're going to ban TikTok?
of course, it's always like at the top of mind, and I would hate if they did such a thing because it would crush a lot of people's American dream.
I don't know. I'm looking at it in a point of, is TikTok maybe a ticking time bomb here when you look at the fees that are playing into this? The referral fee, this is their current US fees, are getting ready to go from 6%, this was April 2024, in July, here in a couple of weeks, to 8%. When you look at that right now, obviously you as a content creator, you're out there in this sector. How are you playing this?
Nothing feels more egregious than when you create content and you put it on YouTube, for instance, and you created the majority of the content and they threw ads on it, right? And I'm not trying to get anybody demonetized today, but I'm just saying I'm sure you see the payout.
Yes, the payout
it's
is
wild. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
you just were the vessel in which I hosted my content, but you would have no content without people posting it. It's wild. So I think as long as crypto builds simplified infrastructure, the way that we've talked about before, the way that Base has come in and, Coinbase Wallet has really created something simple. TikTok is very simple. As you swipe, it's very intuitive. And I'm sure the buying process is equally as simple. So I think just honing that in and getting to a place where it almost doesn't matter what currency you use. You just kind of load your wallet with it, and then you can, in a gamified way, spend it how you want. It's always going to open up an opportunity for crypto.
Okay. All right. With that being said, one thing you have to be aware of, though, is this creator fund on TikTok, which is kind of intriguing. Let me play this clip because this breaks it down a little more. Take a look.
I'm currently making around 2.5 cents per 1,000 views. But I used to make 5 cents per view on TikTok. What happened? What changed? The pool of money is the same size. Why am I making less per view? Because there are more views on the platform. It's grown. There are more users. TikTok is earning more money. But the pool is the same size. So there are more views with the same number of dollars. So you make fewer dollars per view. Literally, when TikTok becomes more successful, TikTokers become less successful. What? If TikTok had the same partnership with creators that YouTube has, TikTokers would be making, at minimum, 16 cents per 1,000 views. That is 6 times what they are making now. That person could be a full-time creator. They could be thinking about expanding, about hiring, about creating a business. We don't have a platform without you, but you don't have a platform without us.
So almost the same thing that you just mentioned. And whether you look at X or you look at something like Farcaster, I was just looking at their daily active users here on Dune. I mean, look at the growth that we've seen here on, this is Farcaster, by the way. So for some of you guys who have not aware of it, it's kind of a Twitter clone. Go search Farcaster Warpcast. You can get it on the iOS or the Android store. Check it out. It has a lot of similarities, but it's just beginning. It's just getting going. Obviously, X has a potential with this. And then you look at social, and I think about this right here. This is Drip House. If you're a crypto native media, you're directly putting your assets in front of 100,000 Solana collectors per day. Within Web2 media, that's tiny, but within the crypto. So here's my question to you. It's kind of like being a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big pond. Which route do you take if you are a creator out there, especially in the crypto space? What would you do in that kind of scenario?
I think there's really awesome opportunities to repurpose your content and change it a little bit as you go from one platform to the next. So, using the teaser content that performs the best on one platform to kind of, start sending people over to maybe the higher quality content that they're really like becoming rabid for and really looking for. I think that's probably the best strategy.
One thing that has started to really perk my interest is the idea of taking brands on chain. Let me play a clip for you because this is a good one about maybe how brands could go on chain. Take a look.
So, what does the new formula look like? Build a brand, launch an on-chain community, aka NFT sales, aka our little own version of IPO, collaborate with the NFT holders, and then sell products. Completely changing the model of how we know brands are built. So this is obviously seeing an uptick of what we call on-chain brands, where NFT communities no longer are being confined to the fact that they're just NFT communities, but they're also thinking, but what can I do ahead of my brand to take this more mainstream?
Would you pitch this to a new business and say, start this way?
Yes. And I think it builds that know, like, and trust kind of, we're just really tired, I think, of being just like sold something like, hi, buy this. Like, it's very disconnected of like, oh, I don't even know you. And I think that know, like, and trust that you build a brand, you also give something like an algorithm the opportunity to show it to you based on likes that you have, shown that you're interested in the first place. I know it's creepy, but I really like when some stuff comes on my feed that I was searching for. And it's like, oh my God, you have a chip in my brain.
Well, one of the strategies that has worked very well is, of course, the Project Pudgy Penguins. Here's a clip here from Luca talking about NFTs and why they matter so much. Take a look.
In reality, we've only been hitting a stride for, call it, 15, 16 months. If you look at our accomplishments and you look at our funding landscape, you think to yourself, they have, 40, 50 billion views across social. They have over 1 million toys sold. They have these huge partnerships that are kind of unheard of, partnerships that take years and years to kind of garner. We are just moving so much faster because I have 10,000 people pushing my objective with me. NFTs and just token holders in general are either the ultimate jet fuel to your company or the ultimate deterrent. You can win in a way that is unparalleled to anything we've seen prior to crypto. You could make the same case for Ethereum and that programming language. Like, when's the last time a programming language hit an enterprise value of $500 billion? It's just like it's relevant across the board.
I think this is a complete shift of thinking. Everything I've learned in marketing, technology, and media for the last 25 years, I look at what's happening today and I think this is a revolution in how audiences behave, because Luca's right. There was an old book out there by Seth Godin called Tribes, and tribes are exactly what he's talking about. Build a tribe of 1,000 or 10,000, and that tribe can become such a great opportunity. But there's not very many companies that ever did that. So now we're starting to actually see it because of the potential for NFTs being kind of the mechanism so far. Do you think this is still a fad, or do you think this is really a shift in business?
I think it's valuable for them to look into it and to implement it, especially with like the high end, the luxury brands. It's so hard sometimes to spot something that's fake. A designer purse that costs $25,000. How do you really, really know that you got what you wanted? And got what you paid for? So having that authenticity of something on the blockchain, I do think really starts to validate that.
The key here is going to be scale. And one of the areas that I'm watching very closely is, of course, how well these networks are growing. Here's an example. Base network now surpasses Binance chain in terms of active DEX users. This is crazy. Base is is it a year old yet? I'm trying to remember. It's like it did one on-chain summer last.
It's about a year old.
About a year old, and it's basically going past Binance, which has been in it for 8-9 years now. That is insane growth. What do you think about the network effect? What's your opinion on that?
Well, I think it helps that, Coinbase was not demonized by U.S. corporations.
Yeah, sure.
So that probably was really helpful.
Probably was a little bit.
And it's all still that UX UI experience. It's so much easier to use Coinbase than it is to get onto PancakeSwap and buy in. It'll take you, I've heard computer engineers say it took them 2 days to figure out how to buy a BSC token.
Oh my God. Well, that goes back to the whole thing around the onboarding comparison that back in the beginning of the episode on Ro Khanna is just making it just super simple. If we're ever going to see mass scale and the network effect, it's going to happen that way. Clearly, Base has kind of proven that. However, there is one guy out there that we all love that says maybe the network effect doesn't matter. Who do you think that guy would be?
The network effect doesn't matter for crypto. CZ, is he going to stump for Binance? He's in jail right now, though. He can't talk.
That's a good one. I love that one. All right. Well, I've got it for you. Let's go ahead and play the clip for Jackie.
And, so network effects don't mean anything in technology, in economic, political, and social systems. It means absolutely nothing. So network effects change all the time. And the people that you'd expect to win, whether they be Ethereum or Bitcoin, here today, gone tomorrow. Solana was dead. Now, a huge amount of growth. Okay. Could be dead in 12 months, could grow another 5x, 10x. Those are flashes in the pan unless you have the right fundamentals, though. Ethereum suffered from this. They got stuck in a mire, and now they have all these competitors. So they could get MySpace very quickly. Why Cardano? Well, that's what it is. That's what we seek to do.
Here's what's amazing to me is that Aaron and Austin had kept a straight face on that, because I don't think I would have been able to. I was like, Charles, what are you talking about? What are you talking? Network effects do not matter. I love that one. That should be on a t-shirt for, network effects do not matter. Cardano community.
This man, like, bless his heart, really. I saw he's surprised today that a shitcoin named after like his dog is doing really well. Like, that just blew his mind. And I think, unfortunately, you have two schools in crypto. You have the dog whiff hat, shitcoin, zero utility, don't care, send it to billions. And then you have the coded in Haskell, Charles Hoskinson, ADA, Maxis. And these two do not communicate and they don't understand each other.
It's a different
And there's
world.
a much smaller pool of the Charleses than there are of the whiffs.
Yeah, definitely a different world in different orbits, which is fine. All those orbits can coexist in this thing we call crypto. Jackie, it's always fun having you on the show. I love you get your opinion on these things. So thanks again for stopping in today. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right, you guys, if you're not in the Diamond Circle, guess what? We've got some big things happening over there in terms of building our own community on the PBN channel. And all you have to do is jump over to the link down below, join. We do a couple more videos over there that don't make it here on YouTube. We do some additional content over there that comes out in email. That's how you can jump in. And if you're really cool, you can jump into our airdrop. And that's an airdrop summer program that we're doing also through that. So check it out down there on the link. You'll find it. And follow me on X. It's just @PaulBaron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.